Hi everyone, I'm going to talk to you about a common mistake that my students are making in my class. We learned all about comparatives and we were talking about them, and I started to realize that although they were doing a really great job with showing how similar and different they were from other people and comparing things, they were making some mistakes with vocabulary to show comparison. So I'm going to point those out and go over some tips on how to help you not make the same mistakes. All right, so here's the list of the words that I saw trouble with: the same, alike, similar, in common, and similarities. So let's talk about how to use these words and how to prevent some mistakes with them. So first of all, I think it helps to know what part of speech these words are. So here the word the same is acting like a noun. I have a dog. He has the same dog. That's a noun. Or like, I had pasta today and she had the same thing as me, pasta. It's a noun. And before nouns, we can use the word be, right? We could use a lot of verbs before nouns, but in this case, we often say, I am the same. He is the same. So we use the be verb. Alike and similar are actually adjectives, and remember, adjectives are words that describe people, places, things, nouns, right? So when we use adjectives, we almost always use the be verb or any type of linking verb. So alike. My sister and I are alike. That means we are similar. We have a lot of things in common. So to use alike and similar, which are adjectives, we want to use be verb, be before adjectives. He is funny, be plus adjective. She is tired, be plus adjective. We are alike, be plus adjective. They are similar, be plus adjective. Now over here, with these words, we have in common and similarities. In common, this is just a prepositional phrase. It's a phrase that we use, but before it, we might use, we often use have. Like, I have a lot of things in common with you. Or we have our personalities in common. But you can also say similarities. I have many similarities with you. Or we, both of us, have lots of similarities. So the problem that I see is where students are using a word that should have a be verb before it, and they're using a have. And they're saying things like, we have alike, rather than we have similarities. Or they might say, we have similar instead of we have similarities. Or they want to say, we have a lot in common, and they'll say, we are in common. Things like that. So let's look at some examples. I always think examples are the best thing to do. So here's some examples with be plus a noun or adjective. So we are alike. That's the adjective, alike. So you want to use the be verb. We are alike. They are similar. That means adjective describing they, showing similarity. They are similar. You and I are the same. So here we're using a noun, but we have the be verb before it. All three of these sentences almost mean the same thing. You can use any of them, really. I mean, to say the same means you have a lot in common, almost exactly everything in common, but we exaggerate a lot in English. So maybe you only have 50% in common with someone, but you really want to show that you have a lot in common. You can say, wow, we're exactly the same, even though you're only 50% the same. Depends on how you are. Okay, so I know these examples are really simple, but I'm trying to give you exposure to the very important part of this piece, which is you need the be verb, then an adjective. So if you can get that down, then you can start building more complex sentences, and you can add things like, we are alike in many ways. And you can add that to all of these. We're alike in many ways. We're similar in many ways. You and I are the same in many ways, in every way. We're the same in every way. We are similar in every way. You can add expressions like that too. So now let's look at the ones with the word have plus a noun or a phrase. Okay, so here we have the examples with have, right? And then a noun here. So we have similarities. Similarities, that means they are things that are the same, and it's a noun. A similarity, many similarities. We have similarities. Or you can say they have whatever it is that is similar in common. So they have jobs in common. They have personalities in common. They have friends in common. So you can put whatever you want here. You could even just say they have everything in common. Like maybe you meet someone for the first time and you want to talk about whether you like that person or not to your friends. And you say, no, we don't have anything in common. Or yeah, we have everything in common. We have so much in common. So you put whatever that thing is right here. And here you can add, you could add how many, right? Frequency or adverb, right? So we have many similarities. We have only a few similarities. We have a lot of similarities. So with both of these examples I gave you, with both the be verb and have, you can also make them negative, right? You can say, for example, we aren't alike at all, or we aren't the same. That's for be verb. For have, you can say, we don't have anything in common. We don't have any similarities. Just be careful, because remember, when you use have and you want to make it negative, you need a helping verb. So do, right, is a good helping verb for that. Okay, there's one more way you can show similarity, and that's with as. And we're talking about being the same, right? So all of the words I've shown you so far help to show when things are very similar or the same. I'm not talking about being different. I'm talking about similarities. So as works for that too. You want to compare two things or two people. You put them on both sides, right? And then in the middle, you put an adjective or an adverb, okay? An adjective is a word that describes a noun. An adverb is a word that does a lot of things. It can describe a verb. It can describe an adverb. It can describe another adverb. It can describe, what did I just say? Okay. So there's this construction, and you can say, like, he is as funny as my sister or something, right? So here are the people you're comparing. He and my sister. And here we, of course, need a verb. We always need a verb. We're using the be verb because funny is an adjective, and we use be before adjectives. And then here I'm using as and as on both sides of the adjective. So he is as funny as my sister. It just basically shows that they are the same amount of funny. You can use an adverb too. He works as fast as my brother. So here I'm comparing he and my brother, and I'm using the verb works this time. Why? Because adverbs describe verbs, right? How fast does he work? as fast as my brother. So here's the adverb describing how he works. He works as fast as my brother. I'm showing that they are the same by using this form, this construction. Okay, so I hope this helped you and that you can try to avoid some mistakes when you're making these statements about similarities.